Making the move down under is one of the hardest decisions imaginable. But when you're torn between families who live on opposite sides of the world, it's a choice that could end in heartbreak, especially when it means leaving one of your children behind. The Wood family have an impossible decision to make.
We are really cut down the middle. It's going to be upsetting either way.
After a week of big surprises...
Old school, this, isn't it?
That's an expensive bulldoze.
Wow.
It makes me feel like I don't want to go now.
I am beginning to wonder whether we can actually afford to move to this country.
They'll have to make a choice that will leave someone broken-hearted. Australia's sunny climate and miles of beautiful coastline has long been a draw for Brits looking for a new life abroad. On average, almost 100 British people emigrate to Australia every day. But it doesn't always match up to their hopes, and roughly a third return home. But that doesn't stop people trying. The Woods will spend 1 week experiencing everything Australia has to offer before they decide whether to swap their lives in Lancashire for a new start in Oz. It's a tough decision, probably the biggest they'll ever have to make. Flying from Manchester via Hong Kong, spending 21 hours in the air and spanning almost 10,000 miles, they finally touch down in Australia and travel a further 70 miles north to their final destination. After such a gruelling journey, Joanne and Anthony are pleased to see her parents and Anthony's brother, who all live in Australia.
Wasn't really ready for all this. I just thought my mum and dad might be here and maybe my other brother Stephen. I didn't think everybody would be here.
It's a bit spazzy.
Feels like we left Manchester about 2 months ago.
I'm speechless. Because it's when you've got family in England and here, and it's just so hard. It's just brilliant to see him again.
With the whole family together again, Joanne's thoughts turn to her daughter back in the UK.
Oh, it was upsetting leaving Katie behind, so I'm going to probably give her a ring and tell her we've landed.
Joanne's barely set foot on Australian soil and she's already missing family back home. Australia is a far cry from their lives back in the town of Colne in Lancashire. Electrician Anthony and wife Joanne share a happy home with their 13-year-old son Charlie, daughters Millie 10 and Maisie 5, and baby Barney 9 months. Most of Joanne's family live on the other side of the world, and the Woods feel that they may be missing out on a life that could benefit the whole family.
My 2 brothers went to Australia about 13 years ago, and also my mum and dad had just left the UK to go and live in Australia. They went about 10 months ago and absolutely love it.
But there's one big reason Joanne's holding back from emigrating. She would have to make the heart-wrenching decision to leave behind her 21-year-old daughter Katie and her first grandson Oscar.
I just don't know how she will cope if we do end up going to Australia to live. I'm hoping she's going to be fine, but...
She won't have a lot of people around, will she, really?
No. Look at you, big boy. This is just the big thing, is leaving Katie behind with a grandson that I'm going to miss out on in years of him growing up.
But Joanne has the rest of her children's future to consider, and a life down under could offer the lifestyle they crave.
We want to do more outdoor living rather than being stuck in the house because of the weather, and for a better way of life for both me and Anthony and the children. Praise Daddy.
I'm hoping our children will have a better start than what I believe they're going to have here. In a few years, I wouldn't like to be Charlie, having to get a job and around this area.
Yeah.
He's going to struggle.
Even though there's so much to keep them here, Anthony has already made up his mind, but he has to convince the rest of the family to go.
I really want to emigrate to Australia. I hope the kids like it. It's going to be very difficult if one child doesn't like it. I think if we don't give it a go, I'll probably regret it for the rest of my life. I just hope Joanne likes it. That Joanne's going to be the main one, really, that will make me the deciding factor. So if Joanne doesn't settle, then none of us will.
It's an emotional decision for the whole family, and one that seems destined to leave someone broken-hearted.
We are really cut down the middle. If we do go, if we don't go, it's going to be upsetting either way.
Home for the Woods is Newcastle in New South Wales. It's Australia's 6th biggest city and boasts more than 3,000 hours of sunshine a year. But more importantly for the Woods, both Anthony and Joanne already have close family living there. They'll be staying in this modern terraced house, close to the shops and restaurants and minutes from the beach. It should be an ideal location for the week ahead.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Awesome.
I like them there.
Nice.
This is the kids' room in it, and then the other stuff.
You think?
Do you think so?
Honey.
The children look to have settled in, but Joanne is still thinking about family back in the UK.
It makes me feel a bit like, oh my gosh, I can't just get home like that if I need to. It's such a long way. You know, if you've got the children to think about, and it's not just like you can get up and go. It is a long way.
I'm looking forward to the week ahead, looking at houses, looking at what we can afford.
What if we don't like it?
Let's go to the beach.
Yeah.
That should make your mind up.
Do you think so?
We'll see.
Back in the UK, the Woods live in a 6-bedroom detached house which they've extended and improved to accommodate their growing family. They think their home is worth around £250,000 and are looking to spend the same in Australia. But if Joanne is going to be persuaded to move, her new home will need a couple of important features.
It'd have to be somewhere quite a good size, but also a nice garden. Millie wants a pool. I'd probably like maybe a newer build like this is, and not a dated one.
You can do work inside houses like that, can't you? Make them,
Well, you can, yeah.
make them look good.
But I think I'd like to go for a new one.
To help them decide between homes in the UK and Australia, we're giving the Woods family a taste of the Newcastle property market. We're going to show them 3 possible options based upon what they want from their Aussie home, what they can actually afford, and the real cost of property down under. After seeing for themselves what's on offer, we'll reveal to the family how much each house actually costs. They start their search in the nearby suburb of Valentine, just south of the city. It's popular with families due to its good schools and proximity to Lake Macquarie. The house they've come to see should offer potential to become their family home. But will it live up to Joanne's high expectations? Having dropped off the younger children with Joanne's parents, Anthony, Joanne and Charlie take a look around the house.
Wow.
This is different, isn't it?
Very.
Old school, isn't it?
You go from this room into a toilet, then into another room.
A walk-through toilet. What can I say? Oh, hang on. I spied something outside.
With both Anthony and Joanne less than excited by the inside, the outside space may be more appealing.
Well, that's quite nice.
I like that.
Yeah, it'd be alright if you knocked down the house and kept the pool and rebuilt the house.
Oh dear, it doesn't look like Joanne is giving this property a chance.
No, not for me, I'm afraid. If I knew...
Let's have a look. There might be,
Yes, well, the
there might
thing
be
is,
6
Anthony,
bedrooms,
if
yeah? You don't
If you
know.
want to get me here...
Just have a look what's round the corner.
Okay.
I'm not sure Anthony's optimism is convincing Joanne.
Actually, it's quite nice out here.
Plus you get a nice view of the
Lake.
lake, don't you? It's very close as well, it's in walking distance.
Impressed with the views, but with just the bedrooms left, things aren't looking particularly good.
Oh, that's freaky.
I quite like that, actually.
Was it? Is it a waterbed? Oh, it is! It's a waterbed!
But what's the verdict on the price? Will their £250,000 budget be enough to afford a house she doesn't even like?
I would like to know what it's worth, because it's the area that's going to sell this place.
To bulldoze it.
To bulldoze it.
Yeah, rebuild. Yeah, I agree.
Ready? £321,000 or $500,000. You're having a laugh.
That's an expensive bulldoze.
Wow.
That's well expensive, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's just because of the lake being so near.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great...
That view's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a great
Between the
position,
houses.
but the house is just terrible.
It's just too much money for
For a lot of rubbish.
for what you have to do to it.
This house needs a lot of work to make it into Joanne's dream. Let's hope the next one goes down better. The second house is in the affluent suburb of Belmont North. On the outskirts of Newcastle, it's a popular area with plenty of shops, schools and beaches close by. This 3-bedroom townhouse they've come to see is on a new development overlooking the reserve, so should appeal to Joanne with her love of all things new. After a morning with the grandparents, Millie, Maisie and baby Barney are joining them for the tour.
No decorating to do.
You know, I like it because it's got a communal pool outside. Thumbs up so far. This would be nice, wouldn't it, for a dining table?
It's huge, isn't it? It's great. Decent sized garden as well. It's not too big. It's not that much grass to cut. It's probably just big enough, this kitchen. Ours is bigger at home,
But no, it's good.
It's definitely a better start, so it's upstairs to explore the rest.
This is like what did they call them? Rumpus rooms?
No.
Where they like...
Looks like a landing at top of stairs to me.
A rumpus room is a children's play area and would be perfect for the woods.
Sweet.
Oh, that's nice.
After a quick tour of the other 2 bedrooms, what's the verdict?
On the little side, do you not think?
Smaller than ones at home, definitely.
Yeah,
But I could live in it.
My bedroom.
Although it's lovely, this house, it's just too small. The kids would both have to share.
No, we don't want to go downstairs.
We're going to have to downsize somewhat, but
I don't mind downsizing. If
be nice
the
if-
girls could share, but they'd have to have a bigger bedroom than this.
But I don't want to share with me.
You have to.
This new build may appeal to the woods, but for Joanne, the size of the upstairs has let it down. Will their £250,000 budget cover the cost?
What do you think, Liz?
what do you think?
I don't know, I don't like to say.
No.
Shall we feel it?
Let's see.
Oh.
£267,000. I'm not surprised at that.
It's just not big enough though, so I'm just thinking we probably are going to have to spend more money, aren't we? Especially if I want a new build and more bedrooms and a bigger kitchen.
Yeah, we'll just have to win the lottery, won't we?
Why don't you just say yeah, we'll go bigger. We can afford it.
You really need cloud cuckoo land, don't you?
This house hasn't won Joanne over, and its price only confirmed Anthony's money worries. But for Joanne to make the move away from Katie, we're going to have to find them something really special. The final house is just round the corner from the last. It's another new built home with 4 bedrooms, a decent sized garden and open plan design. So on paper, it sounds like it's a perfect fit.
Love the kitchen, look at this.
This is definitely big enough.
I'm speechless.
This is like a move up from our house.
I love it. It's ideal and I love the layout with the dining room onto the patio, the lounge at the side. It's lovely.
It really is.
Yeah. I Oh, this is now South Garden.
Yeah.
Big
I
enough
think
for
I'd
a
have to
pool.
get a sit-down lawnmower for this.
This house is getting the thumbs up from everyone.
This is nice.
This is beautiful. Look at that ensuite.
Have you seen?
Decent sized bedroom.
You can have a family shower. It's huge.
Communal area.
Well, this could be the kiddies' living room.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bedroom there for
I think that looks.
maybe Barney's room,
No, that's mine.
Kids'
That's
bathroom.
dark.
and then 2 more bedrooms. Yeah, that's good.
It looks like this house has all the room they want. Joanne has fallen in love with this eye-catching Aussie home, and it's fulfilled her aspirations of living down under. But can they afford it with their budget? Everything rests on the turn of this card.
Fingers crossed.
Well, we can afford it.
Yeah, and I'll be working, don't forget. 386,000.
$600,000. That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, but I think we could do it if we sell our house for a good price.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm working.
I haven't got a job yet, let alone you. Need to dig deep.
Yeah, to keep me happy. Else I'm not coming. Come on your own.
They found their dream home that would get Joanne to Australia, but it's wildly over budget. The first house offered them all the space they wanted, but with too much DIY. The more affordable second house certainly delivered with its open plan design and communal pool, but was far too small. Finally, house number 3 offered the Woods the space they wanted, but at too high a price. So, after a day of house hunting, how will they vote?
We've seen 3 properties today around Newcastle, all different in their own way, and now it's time to vote.
Australia.
I voted UK because our house in the UK, for me, is better than, we've got it to a good standard now, and it's better than what we've seen for the money. So you like the houses there in Australia?
On the strength of house number 3, that is.
Do you realise what you voted for there?
Australia.
Do you like that house better than our house?
Well, yeah, I do actually. I like it because it's spacious.
Right.
It seemed to be more open plan. Our house at home is nice, but I mean, even you say it's too small.
So, an early vote for Australia and great news for Anthony. But if Joanne won't consider the move without a dream home attached, it may come with a hefty price tag. To afford the life they want, Joanne and Anthony need to know Newcastle can provide good job prospects and decent salaries. Back in the UK, Anthony has built up a successful electrical business, working on domestic, commercial and industrial projects. His job means a lot to him.
Yeah, it's really important that I find a good job in Australia for financial reasons, and so that I can settle. If I'm not happy at work, I'm only going to come home and be cranky at home. So it's imperative, really.
To get a feel for work down under, Anthony is spending the morning with a local fire safety specialist company. It's important that Anthony can find good job prospects.
Very apprehensive about where we're going today, and it will be difficult to go back and work for somebody, but I realise coming to Australia I am going to have to start at the bottom and try and work my way up in a firm.
It's vital Anthony can transfer his skills as an electrician down under. To find out, he's joining his brother who's worked for the company for the last 2 years, who's going to show him the ropes.
I'm going to wire up all these zone cards in here and just test them on here.
So you got a test rig there?
Yeah. So we just switch in and just, you know, sometimes we can get a laptop and it'll tell you everything, what's going on with this panel, and you can change things.
As Anthony gets up to speed, Joanne is out and about as well. To help support the family income in Australia, she would have to use her skills as a trained beautician and nail technician. To find out if that's possible, she's leaving the children with the grandparents so she can visit a salon.
Yeah, I'm quite worried because it's like a new beginning for me, going into a different environment, different people. So, yeah, it's quite nerve-wracking, really, yeah.
Joanne's arranged to visit a modern salon in Newcastle's redeveloped harbour. The salon offers hairdressing, makeup and manicures, and owner Kate Green is on hand to show Joanne around.
Okay, and then we have at the back of the salon here, generally we bring, if we have a group booking or a wedding party, we'll bring all the girls up together because generally they'll be having pedicures, manicures, and we have separate little pedicure that we get their feet soaking, get the champagne out and nibbles and fruit and nuts and get the girls all in party mood.
With the tour over, Joanne cuts to the chase.
What are the salaries and things like?
Good, look, there's lots of different options. So you can get an hourly rate, which you're looking at about $36,000 a year. We earn $17 to $19 an hour. And other options that we have is also we can rent out a chair. So instead of getting a weekly wage, you can rent out a chair and you just pay a percentage rent for that chair and then you just take the rest.
Working part-time could offer upwards of £50,000.
Lovely to meet you. You too. Bye.
But the move to Australia hinges on Anthony finding a job that's well paid. He's keen to get some answers from General Manager John Lynch.
So what kind of salary could I expect to earn?
Depending on where you're located, in a regional area in northwest WA, it could be $100,000, or somewhere in the area around Newcastle, around $65,000.
Are there any vacancies for somebody with my experience and qualifications?
Certainly opportunities within Wormald and in Australia to actually utilise your skill sets and experience.
Oh, that's good to know.
That's exactly what Anthony wanted to hear. And with Chris already at the company, he might not need much persuading.
I expected to be starting on a lower wage. The $60,000 is a great starting wage. And obviously the opportunity to earn $100,000 plus is wow.
But is he prepared to give up his own business in the UK? It's a tough choice to make. Time to decide.
We've both been on work experience today. It's been very interesting, found out lots of different things about working in Australia, and now it's time to vote. Australia! It's no surprise to me that you voted for Australia, because I know you want to get back to work.
Yeah, it's exciting for me. I'm looking forward to getting back into work and meeting other people.
I'm surprised in that I've got everything I want back in the UK, work-wise. I've had it tough, and now it works so good. I'm surprised that I've chosen this job.
I think it's a bit frightening.
Anthony and Joanne believe Australia can offer them better work prospects for their future. But that future won't count for much if they can't raise the money they need to start over. So it's crucial they get the right price for the sale of their UK home. We've sent 2 local estate agents to the Woods house in Colne to get their opinion of what it could achieve. They'll need to raise £250,000 to get their dream home down under.
It's a nice-sized family dining kitchen. It's well equipped, spacious, and the oven and hob just ideal for a growing family.
Yeah, it's a good lounge, good size, and good double doors out onto the patio.
Triple doors.
Double, there's 3 there.
Second sitting room, which is ideal for people with young children or teenagers, and it's a very comfortable, cosy room.
That's promising.
This is the master bedroom. It's got modern fitted furniture, but unfortunately the 3-piece shower room hasn't been fitted yet.
And it's a junk room.
Give me a chance.
Charlie's room.
A particularly nice feature of this property is the overall size of the bedrooms.
Another good sized children's room. This family clearly have a lot of children, seems to be overrun with them.
Cheeky!
He's right, though.
A good-sized property, having 6 bedrooms, it's ideal for growing families. In terms of valuation, I would put a value on of £220,000, for a quick sale, £195,000 to £200,000.
No, not having it.
I'd suggest an asking price of £220,000, for a quick sale, £180,000.
No chance, I'm not selling it. Forget it.
Told you.
220, I'm not selling it for that, there's no way.
That's what it's worth.
I'm not selling it for a quick sale at 180 or 195.
I am beginning to wonder whether we can actually afford to move to this country.
It makes me feel like I don't want to go now, because I know we're not going to be able to afford the house that I want.
It is a shame that it could be the major deciding factor that we don't actually come to Australia.
It's a shame.
Because we can't afford it.
The valuation is a lot lower than the Woods expected, so everything now hangs on the cost of living. We've provided a breakdown of the everyday costs, and based on their own calculations, they'll find out if they can afford to live down under.
Shopping list. Quite a few things a lot more expensive and quite a few things cheaper.
Toilet rolls, well cheaper. We go through a lot of them.
Yeah.
And 6 bums. 91, 318, 159.
£104.50.
Right. Salad, £1.90. £2.87. It's expensive. And apples, £1.34.
£106.05.
So the food shop in Australia is slightly more expensive than in the UK, and the mortgage repayments are key.
That's taken into account that we've got £150,000 worth of equity. So we'd need a $365,000 mortgage. £1,604. At the moment I'm thinking that's too big a figure, too big a mortgage to have.
Yeah.
Right, let's have a look at the next sheet.
Look it up.
Will there be any more surprises in store for them?
Okay, it's more like it. The council tax is less. Gas is less, but electricity is a lot more.
Transport costs.
Cheaper. I spend a lot on fuel in the UK. It's extortionate.
So, what's the bottom line? Will the Woods be in or out of pocket in Australia?
The difference between living here and on those salaries and just living off my salary at home is £17,000. And that is left over after expenses, so that can go a long way.
Yeah. I'm quite surprised about them figures, yeah. I think that's good.
On paper, it looks like the Woods could be £17,000 a year better off. But Joanne would have to work full-time. Is she prepared to make that sacrifice?
We've had the reality check, we've totted up the sums, and now it's time to vote. Australia!
Really?
Yeah.
Good stuff.
You're the one who always used to say, no, well, we might not be able to afford it, and now I used to say, well, we might be able to, but now you're...
Now we can, it's very positive.
There's just one setback for me. You know what that is, Katie and Oscar,
But as regards money, we can afford it, so that's a big weight off the shoulders.
Yeah, definitely.
Got a lot to think about.
Seeing things in black and white has convinced the Woods that a future in Australia is affordable, and Anthony's hopes of moving there are closer than ever. Everything now depends on whether Australia can deliver the kind of outdoor lifestyle that the family crave. So it's a day for the Woods to sample what Newcastle has to offer the whole family. They're heading down to Port Stephens on the outskirts of the city for a spot of dolphin watching.
Morning. Are you going all right?
We won't be able to do this in the UK in winter, would we?
We'd be round the fire now with his pyjamas on. Hot chocolate.
Cruise down the beaches. Remember, we're looking for those dark fins. Should you see anything, make sure you let us know. None of us know where the dolphins are yet. Trying to find them. Should you see a dolphin before I do, make sure you point it out.
We're about 5. Yeah, 5 dolphins.
And if that wasn't enough, the Woods get to meet the captain, and he has a treat in store.
Well, let me hang on first. Let me hold on.
Go, Jazz.
Where are you going, Charlie?
That way. Not too much, just a little bit at a time. Don't hit Australia, that's the first rule.
The whole family seemed to have had fun. The sun shone and the dolphins turned up on cue.
Not bad for a winter's day in Australia. Woo! So what do you think about Australia so far?
Well, good son.
Woo! I think Charlie's a little bit excited.
Yeah, I drove in a bigger boat than you.
Yeah. Joanne's completely surprised me in that I thought she found negative points to everything to try and dissuade us from actually making the move, because it's going to be a big thing leaving Katie, obviously. She's really positive about everything, and I think she's probably as up as I am for it, so yeah, that's really good.
Anthony is shocked by Joanne's positivity for Australia, but it's not a done deal yet. Time to bring in the reinforcements. Meeting up with Joanne's parents and Anthony's brother may help her decide.
I can't remember the last time we all got together and had maybe a barbecue or a party together. So it's great just having us all together in one room.
Everyone in the family has an opinion about what they should do.
It's a better way for the children, better way for life for them. It won't be easy for them, obviously, with 4 children and Katie back home with her baby. She's like torn between 2 evils, you know.
If I was a kid, this is where I'd want to be brought up, you know, sport and outdoor lifestyle and things. But it's not easy, it's not an easy move.
So far, I've loved Australia, and I just think it's a great opportunity for my children, a great start in their lives, so we'll have to see.
Because it is a better life for the children.
You don't have to convince me, Mum.
But it's just got,
you don't have to convince me.
It's just going to be hard for you, leaving Katie.
At the end of the day, me and Anthony are going to have to sit down and with the children and decide whether we all want to come as a family, you know. So that's what we'll do.
After an exhausting and emotional day, the Woods have some much-needed time to mull over their decision.
We went dolphin watching, we saw loads of dolphins, we had a great time, and now it's time to vote.
I prefer Australia because of the weather and the chance to do more things with family.
I really enjoyed today's activities with the family, spending time all together. So that's why I chose Australia.
I chose Australia because due to the weather and the place, we can spend a lot more time together as a family, do a lot more activities, and I think there's a lot more around this area that we could ever do than there is at home, so the possibilities are endless.
Well, that's a resounding success for the great Aussie outdoors. But there's one final obstacle barring Anthony's dream. If Joanne can't cope with the pain of leaving her daughter Katie and grandson Oscar behind, all their hopes will be for nothing. We've prepared some messages from family back in the UK. This will be especially hard for all of them, but Anthony and Joanne have decided they want their children to watch.
You ready?
Hi Joanne, hi Anthony, hi kids.
Hello, I hope you've had a really good time. We've missed you lots and lots and lots, haven't we?
Anthony He's my son and I'm very proud of him. He's achieved a lot in his life. He's met a lovely girl, Joanne, who's not only his wife but his friend, and she's also my friend, and they're just a lovely family.
Well, my sister's very outspoken. She likes to say how it is, and
she loves to enjoy herself and she loves family around her.
My mum's just amazing. She's my best friend. We're just so alike, so she's just like me, but I'm like her.
When they first told me they were going to Australia, which is years ago, I was absolutely devastated, and I just couldn't imagine that my life without him at all.
Oh, you're the only part of my family I've got left over here, with my mum and dad being there, my two brothers, and it will be a big hole in my life.
I just can't imagine my life without them, although I would be happy for the children to live in Australia if it's what they want and a better life.
I'd want the best for you, and if the best is staying over there, then I'd love you to stay over there. But if you're not happy there, then I'd love you to stay at home with me. So it's going to be so hard not having you around.
That makes it real, doesn't it?
Yeah. It is emotional, and it doesn't make me any less focused, I don't think.
I would miss family, but it wouldn't want to stop me from coming out and doing what I want to do.
Not sure I can leave Katie and Oscar, but I can't jeopardise a good lifestyle for the children and, you know, their rest of their lives and what they want and things, so I don't know.
The reality of leaving loved ones has hit the Woods hard and left Joanne more torn than ever. But their week in Australia is over, and with the family's future hanging in the balance, it's time to make the big decision.
To be honest, I had no idea what to expect. I've heard everything from family and friends, and everyone saying, "Oh, you'll love it, you'll love it," and I do. It's great.
My mum didn't want to come at the start of the week, and now he's just finished trying to persuade her, and since the video she's just like gone back on the show, back to square one.
I'm thinking about, because it's time to go back home, I'm thinking about, can't wait to see Katie, and if we do actually decide to come to Australia, it's not just going to be for the experience, it's going to be for good, and I'm not sure I can do that.
The single biggest obstacle in our move to Australia would definitely be Katie and Oscar. It's going to be heart-wrenching for Joanne. But like I said, not to sound hard, I've got 4 other children I've got to think about.
I can't stop the rest of the family from coming to Australia just because of my feelings. I think that'd be very selfish of myself. So we'll just have to see.
Will Joanne make the hardest decision of her life and help Anthony's dream come true?
We've had a very exciting week this week. We've done lots of exciting things, and now it's the final vote.
Really? You don't know?
Don't know.
After all this week, everything we've done?
It's been such a busy week. I've loved the experience and I love it here, but when reality kicks in, how do I feel?
I voted Australia purely because of the lifestyle, the beaches. I know it's not going to be a holiday when we live here, but it's a little bit like paradise.
After coming so close to choosing a new life in Australia, Joanne's worries about leaving family left the woods on the brink, unsure about their future. 1 month on, I've come to Cole to find out if being back home has made them change their minds, one way or the other. Well, the whole family voted Australia, apart from one.
Yeah.
Joan, you were undecided, weren't you?
Yeah.
And what's happened since you've been back? Because you're extremely close to Katie,
Yeah.
and Oscar is your first grandchild. What's gone through your mind since you've come home?
Well, I've spoke to Anthony about it, and the children all want to go. Anthony wants to go, and I've decided that I've got to give it a go.
So when you go, Katie's not going to be losing you as a family. She's also, I'm sure, very aware that her grandparents are now over there.
Mm-hmm.
Her uncles are there, her cousins. I mean, a huge part of her family has moved to the other side of the world.
Yeah.
And it isn't easy, that's life, isn't it? You know, leaving people behind, however much you do want them to join you, it is so difficult.
It is. Very difficult.
I've decided I want to talk to Katie to hear what she thinks. Since they've been back, you know, there's been a lot of soul searching, a lot of thinking to be done. All of you to consider this family, all your brothers and sisters as well. But we realise that you're the one person that didn't get to vote. So I'm going to pass you the flag, and I'm going to ask you, perhaps for the final time, because your mum couldn't make the decision, so perhaps you can make it for her. There's a little part of you that doesn't want to face it, isn't there? So which way are you going to vote?
Australia.
That was definite.
Definitely.
I think little Oscar's agreeing, aren't you, Oscar?
Yeah.
And Katie, obviously a really difficult decision for you, but you think it's best for them, do you?
100%.
So what's happened?
We want to go to Australia too.
Which must be, Jan, the best news ever.
It's good knowing that they want to come to Australia. It makes life a little bit easier for me, knowing that when we do go to Australia, that Katie and Sam and Oscar do want to come.
Well, that really is the most fantastic news. The Wood family are going to be complete down under.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
What a brilliant result. After being home for a month, Joanne's decided that Australia is the best place for her family. And the even better news is that Katie has changed her mind, and hopefully she's going to be able to join them in the future. We wish them all the best.
Well, the decision of whether to move to Oz has just been made easier thanks to the house Martin's just found. Damp cracks and a kitchen in the basement. Homes under the hammer. Next.
Making the move down under is one of the hardest decisions imaginable. But when you're torn between families who live on opposite sides of the world, it's a choice that could end in heartbreak, especially when it means leaving one of your children behind. The Wood family have an impossible decision to make.
We are really cut down the middle. It's going to be upsetting either way.
After a week of big surprises...
Old school, this, isn't it? That's an expensive bulldoze.
Wow.
It makes me feel like I don't want to go now.
I am beginning to wonder whether we can actually afford to move to this country.
They'll have to make a choice that will leave someone broken-hearted. Australia's sunny climate and miles of beautiful coastline has long been a draw for Brits looking for a new life abroad. On average, almost 100 British people emigrate to Australia every day. But it doesn't always match up to their hopes, and roughly a third return home. But that doesn't stop people trying. The Woos will spend 1 week experiencing everything Australia has to offer before they decide whether to swap their lives in Lancashire for a new start in Oz. It's a tough decision, probably the biggest they'll ever have to make. Flying from Manchester via Hong Kong, spending 21 hours in the air and spanning almost 10,000 miles, they finally touch down in Australia and travel a further 70 miles north to their final destination. After such a gruelling journey, Joanne and Anthony are pleased to see her parents and Anthony's brother, who all live in Australia.
Really ready for all this. I just thought my mum and dad might be here and maybe my other brother Stephen. I didn't think everybody would be here.
It's a bit surprising.
Feels like we left Manchester about 2 months ago.
I'm speechless because when you've got family in England and here, it's just so hard. It's just brilliant to see him again.
With the whole family together again, Joanne's thoughts turn to her daughter back in the UK.
We're upsetting leaving Katie behind, so I'm going to probably give her a ring and tell her we've landed.
Joanne's barely set foot on Australian soil and she's already missing family back home. Australia is a far cry from their lives back in the town of Colne in Lancashire. Electrician Anthony and wife Joanne share a happy home with their 13-year-old son Charlie, daughters Millie 10 and Maisie 5, and baby Barney 9 months. Most of Joanne's family live on the other side of the world, and the Woods feel that they may be missing out on a life that could benefit the whole family.
My 2 brothers went to Australia about 13 years ago, and also my mum and dad had just left the UK to go and live in Australia. They went about 10 months ago and absolutely love it.
But there's one big reason Joanne's holding back from emigrating. She would have to make the heart-wrenching decision to leave behind her 21-year-old daughter Katie and her first grandson Oscar.
I just don't know how she will cope if we do end up going to Australia to live. I'm hoping she's going to be fine, but...
She won't have a lot of people around, will she, really?
No.
Look at you, big boy. This is just the big thing, is leaving Katie behind with a grandson that I'm going to miss out on in years of him growing up.
But Joanne has the rest of her children's future to consider.